Cool.
We're recording.
Okay, fantastic.
Can you do our little intro thing? The little intro thing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Sorry, you set me in a panic. I thought we were to sing or something.
No. Hi, I'm Dan Etmacher.
I am Girolamo Marri.
And this is?
Alchemy on the island. Sorry, I said it terribly.
Try it again.
No, I think it's cool.
No, I want to say it together.
All right.
Alchemy on the island together.
All right,
I'll
okay.
set you up and then Alchemy on the island.
All right,
You ready?
I can do it.
Right. Ready?
Right.
Hi, I'm Dan Etmacher.
Hi, I'm Girolamo Marri.
And this is Alchemy on the Island.
Oh, fuck, like we said, it's so good.
The podcast where we explore the vast and rich world, the Taoist spiritual arts, through our own journey and that of our fellow practitioners.
Alchemy. On the island. Would you like to join us on the show in the world on Alchemy?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let me thank you right away, Dan Etmacher, for having written such a beautiful intro and for having welcomed me to your bedroom, which sounds dodgy right away, to record this first intro episode, even on a night when I know you're in a bad mood.
It's not the greatest time.
Yeah, MSG fueled. While on opposite side of the spectrum, I'm super happy because I ate a massive double burger that was like, oh, killing it.
I'm a little jealous of that one.
Yeah. So thank you. Like, that's a good gesture.
Well, thank you, sir.
Right.
Much appreciated.
Yes.
This is our second recording of the intro. First one, not good enough.
Yeah.
Not good enough. We tried.
Fucked it up.
Okay.
And it took only 1 month to re-record it. It's like, it's gonna take...
Yeah. The season will be out soon. Okay, so first of all, where are we right now and what are we doing here? Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So we are on this lovely island that some of you might be acquainted with, which is called Bali, and it's possibly the most famous island in Indonesia, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Which
it's Instagram famous, Insta famous.
Yeah, that's reductive, and like, you know, my father would like put his fingers in his eyes, like if you heard you saying that, like.
But it's very true.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what Instagram is,
Okay.
probably, so it's fine. Yeah, so we're in Bali, this lovely, beautiful tropical island with volcanoes and palms and happiness and
Big waves.
and a lot of that, and surfers and lots of Russians and Australians.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we are here for some years, actually, studying full time something which is not hugely known to the public, I would say. Like, it's not like one crazy famous topic, which is that of the Taoist internal arts, the Taoist spiritual arts, as,
Right.
as you mentioned in the beautiful intro. And with our teacher and with other teachers and with a number of other fellow students.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, because we got not much to do in the evenings, and to record a podcast for all our friends, family, and random strangers, to document a little bit this process through a number of interviews with fellow students and other teachers and stuff. And I'm feeling like I'm being tested with this question that you asked me.
No, you're just going. You're just going.
Sorry, you go on. Like,
You can ask me questions.
Yeah, like, oh no, I feel tested like now that I have to ask you questions. like I'm not developing like at ease.
Yeah, it'll come.
It will come like
Yeah. So I like what you said. All seems very accurate. Our teacher's name is Damo Mitchell.
Yes.
The organization is Lotus Negong.
Right.
That we're studying with. And we're out here with quite a few people. People are like, oh, how many people are there? Like 20, 30? No, there's like 70 people or so in our program.
At the moment, I think like we're about like 55 who's staying long term. But then there is a lot of people that come and go and stay for a minimum of 1 month to like 2, 3, 4 months and stuff. So I think in total every year, like we're seeing around like 150 people, 160 people, maybe more, like in the school.
It's a large group.
It's a huge number, which testifies to the success of our teacher and his business model. And like he can definitely afford a dish of pasta if he wants to.
Let it be known.
Yeah, let it be known. Like you can pay for pasta. You can afford it.
So in this intro, part of what we're trying to do is just set up what it is we're going to be talking about. Right. What's the season going to look like? What can you expect?
Right.
So we talked about the Taoist internal arts, Taoist spiritual arts, and there's a large number of things within that larger heading that we're studying, including Neigong, Neidan, which is the Taoist internal alchemy, which is where we got the podcast name. We will explain that a lot more in another episode. Tai Chi, external martial arts, Kung Fu, Xing Yi, which is a sort of external/internal martial art. We're going to be studying Bagua. We're going to be studying meditation preparation and a bit of Chinese medicine.
Plus a number of other sub-subjects. Yeah, it's crazy because when we say Taoist spiritual arts, we mean like a massive system of cultivation that is comprising a number of subsystems, because each of the names that you mentioned is on its own a very specific art and practice and very complex generally. Maybe
quite
Xing Yi, which is the Xing Yi Chuan, which is possibly the simplest of the internal martial arts, is still a massive headache of number of things to learn and stuff, and like I suck at it big time. And so there is a ton of things that really cover the whole spectrum almost of how to say, like human possibilities, like the things that people can do in life. Like you've got like all the forms of movement and thought and like behavioral things that we learn, and then spiritual practices and more mind-oriented practices and energy-based and medicine and all of them. Like we have to take care of what we eat,
right?
Aside from a burger,
the lifestyle,
like there is everything. So everything is encapsulated in this massive thing. So it's not like we're going to study whatever Swedish massage, right? Like we're studying a huge thing that possibly includes the Swedish massage. We're not sure. So it's a huge thing, and that's why we'll have a long-running podcast with many seasons, many episodes.
We can do a lot. We've got a lot of people to interview. We've got a lot of subjects to dive into. The thing that helps me is that basically all this is organized in a particular direction, right? So it's not disparate things going in different directions.
Right.
It's all sort of under the same umbrella of the Taoist spiritual arts, and ultimately, what our teacher seems to be most interested in is the spiritual heart of the practice, touching soul, touching spirit, achieving states of consciousness within meditation that remain grounded in the person. And there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done to move in that direction. A lot of changes in the body, in the energy body, in the mind, personality. So a lot of what we're doing is we consider more of the groundwork in that spiritual process.
It's almost like everything is groundwork until the very moment in 75 lifetimes from now, in which you actually say, "Oh fuck, I'm touching spirit." Right? Like until then, it's just groundwork. You're just transforming yourself in order to become the person that can touch spirit, be spiritual, right? Like so, it's quite crazy, and and Taoist spiritual arts is a definition that maybe we might want to succinctly explain, right? Like so, Taoist, it's because all of the stuff that we're studying most of the stuff that we're studying was developed in the context of the Taoist. Not even religion, but in the Taoist spirituality,
spiritual
practice, and
the alchemical side.
Yes, and it was brought to us through lineages of Taoists, but we don't take it with the religious approach.
Yeah, we're not religiously or culturally Taoist.
Yes, exactly. It's just this practice. It's almost like, I don't know, like if you learn Western boxing, and you learn that Western boxing was developed by Trappist monks, but you're not becoming like a Trappist monk, right? Like you're still boxer.
So we don't wear robes.
Yeah, we don't wear robes. Although I kind of like that. Like,
robes would be fun. You get a robe day.
Yeah, robe day.
Right now we have like a tank top day.
Yeah, because considering how much we sweat, like the robes would be disgusting.
Really gross.
Yeah, really gross.
It'd be like floor sweat rags.
Right. And then spiritual arts, spiritual is defined by the fact that the aim is that of becoming spiritual, which is not something that you're starting with, right? Like I mean, in the way the term spiritual is taught to us. Like we don't start as spiritual. It's not like right away.
We start as sweaty, farty, gross.
Yes, exactly. And you
bodies.
want to clean that as much as possible until the point that the spirit says, okay, maybe I can touch you.
The temple is getting a little bit nicer.
Yes, I can enter.
It's opening up, it's freshening.
Yes, and arts is been a tricky thing for me to understand.
How is what we're doing in art?
Because I used to, previous times, like I used to work as a visual artist and as a performance artist and stuff, and I have a definition of what arts is, which is different from what I don't see, because like to me arts was always connected a lot to individuality and originality and finding your own way, and what we do is kind of devastating that in a certain way. I always felt like it's killing my ego and like trying to make me just be humble and try to align myself with what everyone else is doing and what is taught to me and not what I would like to do or think should be done.
Yeah.
And so to me that's like, what's artistic about this? And then like the more I practice, the more I go slightly deeper into this, the deeper I go into this, the more I understand that there is a side which is very much dictated by your own ability to navigate the system and to use the tools that you're given in a way that is very specific to who you are. And
in any given moment.
Sorry?
In any given moment.
Yes,
well,
yes, exactly. And that the teacher, not even the teacher, the best teacher in the world can tell you how to do, like you have to really understand it on your own and use those tools like accurately and specifically in a way that becomes almost, to me, beautiful. Like when I see certain results that are born out of like some choices that I take, I say, it's not bad. I appreciate it. So that to me defines it as an art, like this in this way. But I'm still struggling a little bit with this term. But like, I'm kind of figuring it out in this way.
The way I perceive it is that you are the art.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, so am I.
See, right away, it's not art. It's
right, like it's your ability to engage with the transformation process is like the artist's process, but you yourself are the painting. You are the result. The changing of your personality, of your body, of your energy system is the result of your art. It's the manifestation of that.
You're making me think of that beautiful documentary that was called Pumping Iron, I think. Where
Arnold's the art.
Yeah, it's the art.
More external.
Slightly. Maybe he would resent you for this. I don't know. Saying this anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, then maybe we should talk a little bit about who we are, right? Like in the future episodes.
Because not everyone knows us. Soon they will.
Yeah. Wow, I bet they're super excited about it. But in episodes, I think like people will get to know us much more. But just a little bit of an introduction on who we are and why we are doing this like might be helpful. And I'm making it sound like it's me proposing it, but actually it was you in your notes who wrote this. It's like we could do that, and I'm like, okay.
Power of the notes.
Exactly, it's crazy.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, where you come from, a little bit of your background, what brought you to these arts in the most poetic and succinct way possible.
Oh my God! Like you made it very difficult again. Like I'm stressed. All right. Like well, first of all, I would like to say that I'm Italian, and that's maybe why like my English might sound a little bit awkward at times, and I apologize for this in advance. Like sometimes I get things mixed up a little bit.
You know a number of languages. It's pretty impressive.
Like some of them I say I know them. But
Okay.
But yes, so like I'm Italian, and I lived in the East for a while. I lived in China for some years, like for 5 years or 6 years, and this would, in theory, make me like, that's where you learn the arts of the East. No, that's only the time in which I started resenting them less, because up until then I was just convinced that like it was all New Age crap, and like I was really completely against all forms of Eastern philosophy and Eastern arts and like disciplines and all of that. And this was until
so you were not only neutral, you were anti.
No, I was totally anti. I felt like everyone was a phony. And this was until like I was like maybe in my early 30s. And then in my early 30s, when I was in China, I started realizing that my body was sort of decomposing and my mind too, like at very early age.
not a
like
good
I was,
realization.
I was curling around myself, around my spine. It was a terrible, terrible situation. And I thought that I should do something. And then there was a guy next door that was a Zen teacher, and so I said, "Fuck it, I'll go and do some Zen practice." And I didn't particularly like it, but he was really nice. And then from there, I went to try something else, and then I tried yoga, and then I tried other forms of meditation, blah blah blah. So I mean, I started getting to terms with these things and experimenting, and I've been what they call a seeker for a really long time, like trying this and trying that. And because I'm slow, it took me just to get any form of result with anything or anything. But like, lucky enough, I was like driven by an interest that developed in these things. And so even if the results were small, like I was still thinking, but this is cool, I want to do it. And then it went on to learning shiatsu, which is a form of Japanese body work, which is, I will use the not very exact term of meditative, but it was very meditative practice, and it developed my understanding of such practices.
There's a lot of internal awareness that goes on.
Yes, exactly. And all of this at the same time, I was practicing Tai Chi with, let's say, maybe with all the respect for the teachers and the schools I've been to, but maybe not the kind of Tai Chi that I would practice now, actually, right? Or that I practice now, and blah 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 blah. And then I came across like the one of the books of Gimo, and then I wanted to train with him. Then COVID arrived, and I couldn't train with him. And then I started studying with his online program, and then I liked it. And I met him in person in Sweden. Blah 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 blah. And then I'm here in Bali.
So you started in-person training how long ago?
In-person training with them, not so long, like maybe 2.5 years.
2.5 years, great.
3 years? 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
And we've been here training full time for over a year.
A little over a year, yeah. And it's incredible, this fact that like even in just 3 years of in-person training, I'm already considered one of the top students.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
It's really remarkable.
I feel like,
we want to clarify
if we're looking at jumping rope, you're at least one or two.
The fact is that I decided to practice jumping rope early in the mornings. I want you guys to know.
So that's what I wake up to every morning.
Yeah, well, every morning for a week, and then I fucked up my knees, and I had to stop for a week. So, not such a torture. Anyway, okay, that was me.
Okay,
now you.
What do
Be
you
as poetic as I was in describing your arrival to the.
Well, I've always been a seeker. You know,
yes,
started off
been sick
at an early age with Native American practices. Did survival skills. Was introduced when I was 14, and then 17 I lied my way into a workshop. You have to be 18 for Tom Brown workshop to study more in depth. Sort of spiritual side of the Native American tradition and more meditative practices. That kind of started things for me. I was in a cult for about 10 years, which I would call a generally positive cult, but
10 years.
Yeah, I didn't live in the houses. I wasn't like super in, but I was doing their meditation process. I was doing some of their workshops. I was helping out. Actually, a very devotional practice, different than the one we're doing.
Can we note down that we'll do an episode on cults? And you'll be because I think a lot of people think that we are in a cult, which we are not.
Yeah, and I should know because I've been in one.
Right, and also a lot of people have specific ideas about cults, and maybe it'd be interesting to.
They're
discuss.
Not all bad.
Yeah,
the ones you hear about on the news are bad.
Yeah, exactly. And fantastic. It's before I interrupted you already once. I might interrupt you one second time. Did you learn to use a tomahawk in your?
I did, but on my own. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I threw knives and I threw tomahawks. Yeah.
Can you believe that I had ninja stars? What they were shooting? Can you believe me with my eyes? Can you believe the danger? Someone sold them to me. I should be put to jail right away. Okay, go on.
Okay. Tomahawk. So I've done spiritual practices for much of my life, on and off. Dabbling. I did a bunch of Tibetan Buddhism when I got to Naropa at 23. Lots of that seeking, that sense of trying on different teachers, different practices, going into them for numbers of years, getting things out of them, but ultimately sort of plateauing, hitting glass ceilings, wanting to move on. I'd been looking, before I found our teacher, Gimo, I'd been looking for a Qigong teacher because I wanted to learn how to work with my body better. Because I saw a lot of people around me in these spiritual practices with poor health or problems with their bodies that weren't actually clearing up. And I feel like, we are embodied beings and our whole spiritual life happens through these bodies. And I wanted to learn how to work with mine better and create more health. So I've got some chronic health stuff. But also wanted to bring the body into the spiritual life. And I'd gone around and tried a whole bunch of different workshops and was just bored out of my mind. Just bored to tears, just arm flapping, and had no idea why I was pursuing these arts. Because I would go to the workshops, I had no interest, but I was looking for something. Clearly,
This
and
is
then
lucky, no?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very lucky.
yeah. So for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, this was happening on and off. Right. Then I had someone I knew was talking about demo and going to these workshops, and sounded like a really interesting practitioner. I showed up at my first workshop in California about 6 years ago. And immediately, people were going nuts, having this process called Zifagong, which is a spontaneous release. It has to do with building the Dantian and Qi, and we'll talk about all that later. But I felt right at home because it felt like my cult. I was like, oh, I know this. Like, here's the energy. It's moving. People are like shaking and things are happening. And like, I was like, oh, this is my place.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And there I stayed. Had a good connection with Demo that first retreat, and struggled in the art actually for the first 8 months or so, but got going.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, like look at you. Like, almost as good as me.
Almost, yeah, right behind. It's nice to have someone to push me and to strive for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in my previous life, I was a therapist. Just to give a little background on who I am, I still practice some counseling. I was a therapist in my previous life for about 10 years. And then also a bit of an athlete. So I bring that mindset to the table. Yeah.
Amazing. And tomahawk.
And tomahawks.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, totally. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this podcast? More specifically.
Right. Go ahead.
Why am I doing it? Well, it's something when I sit down, when I go home and talk to family, I sit down at the dinner table and people go, what are you doing? I have a long pause every time. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to really explain that in one conversation. I need an entire podcast season. And they're like, there's some eye rolls, and I try to pick one particular area and try to elucidate how I'm talking about it. But basically, it seems like very difficult to explain in a short amount of time. Even difficult to explain just through words in many ways. But I want to help friends and family, and then people that are just generally interested in these arts to understand what it's like to do them full time, to dive really deeply into them in a lineage that's very alive and has a lot of transmission and a lot of juice. So I want to share that with people.
That's great.
Yeah. Why are you doing this?
Because often I can't shut up. I just want to talk.
From the love of words.
Yeah, I just want to talk. I just want to have a podcast. I just want to talk. And
Always
this is the topic that it's available. I'm gonna talk about this. Take me here. Like recently, I was talking with one of the people that study with us, like Andrea, another Italian guy that's here every now and then, and he dances tango on his spare time every now and then. And I never cared about tango in my life.
Yeah,
but I had dinner with him once, and I asked him to talk about tango. And by, 20th minute of him talking about tango, 15 minutes, I felt like, why am I not doing tango? Why have I not done tango my entire life? And I was so sold that I'm in fact going to start doing tango.
Oh, wow.
And that's how easy I am to shift interests. So like the fact that I keep talking about these things and that I keep surrounding myself with people that do them is that like it's gonna be helpful for me to be consistent, because if I spend like 2 months with people that like play bowling, I'm gonna be the Big Lebowski in no time.
It's not a bad life choice.
Exactly. I'm gonna be Jesus.
So this is to help keep you inspired, invigorated, on task in the practice also.
If you want to put it that way, yeah, whatever. Like I just think I think it's fun. Why not? Like let's do a podcast. Like it's good. Like we spend good time. Like we're gonna have good talks with people that we know are nice. We're gonna talk about topics that anyway we talk often about and are interesting for us.
Yeah, we get to dive deeply into them.
Yeah, and we get to fool around and
hopefully entertain a bit.
Yeah,
we don't want to make these too dry.
Yeah, no.
This is not straight information.
No, that's very important. Yeah. I'm very adamant on.
Yeah.
Very big disclaimer. We don't know shit.
We don't know shit.
People
We are beginners.
Yeah, people should not take what we say in any way seriously, or like don't think, all right, they say it works like this, let's do it like they say. No, no matter what, like it's yeah.
We're not teachers.
We're not teachers.
We're students. We may refer to materials that our teacher or people our teacher knows has put out. Go to those materials if you really want to.
Yeah. Because even when we think we might be quoting like our teacher, we might be saying it wrong, miss a nuance and stuff like. So we want to make it very clear. It's
this is for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. Just for that. Then you might question the fact that this is your form of chosen form of entertainment. Like go and listen to something more entertaining. But yeah, it's exactly.
If this is your thing.
If this is your thing,
don't listen to us.
If you're into two people that are not particularly funny and that don't know what they're talking about, with other people that don't know what they're talking about, like that, this is your podcast.
Yeah, it'll be a great time. Yeah. So let's go over some possible examples of what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
topics that we're going to cover. What is cultivator? That's going to be our first episode.
Yeah, that's going to be our first episode, which we recorded already, but we're going to re-record because it turned out shit because we didn't know how to record. So
we're gonna the mindset of an internal athlete, because a lot of what we do out here, to me, feels similar to like training as a full-time athlete in some ways.
Well, I think like a lot of people that know me in person and that are listening to this, like, are going to laugh at the thought of me put next to the word athlete.
Yeah.
But let's say it's specified mindset of internal athlete. Some of us, it's like, but yes, no, absolutely. And then of course there's going to be all the topics that are slightly very specific, right? Like what is Neigong that we mentioned, that is even in the name of the organization we're part of Lotus Neigong. Like what is this Neigong, which sounds like,
and what makes it different than Qigong?
Qigong. What is Qigong? What is Qi? What is all these basics, like all these Chinese terms, or not even Chinese terms, that are very, very relevant to our practice. Like what is alchemy, as you were saying before? What is this thing? Like, so all this basic stuff. But then you mentioning topics that are like a little off the usual path.
The differences between men and women in the arts, because there are some differences.
Yes. That's going to be a hot topic, I think.
Yeah.
Or
the power of humor and irrelevance of self.
Yes, that's going to be a good one.
We're working with our mindset. There are some key components.
Yes, and humor is a component of. I was really happy when I heard this thing. Like in the northern Taoist, the northern what do you call it? Like the reality. Well, I don't know. One of the main sects of Taoism in the north. Like there were three characteristics, three qualities that are the main ones, and it's like humility,
irrelevance of self.
Irrelevance to self, I think, and sense of humor. And I thought, fuck yeah, this is a religion.
This is a
religion. Imagine if Jesus said, like, you gotta be funny, man.
Okay, all right, I'll work on that. I'll make some notes.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna talk about the relationship between what we practice and Western science, which is a big thing, because like a lot of people that are very much accustomed to judging things depending on whether they're proved or not by science, will discard completely what we're doing.
And we will have a real scientist in the studio.
We will have. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So and then a lot of other topics, and people at home or wherever they're listening to this, like they're more than welcome to suggest topics.
Yes.
And to comment and do that. Disclaimer: we might not care about what people say. Because not because we don't care.
Unless you insult Gimo personally.
Yeah,
then he'll have to
come hunt you.
Protect his pride.
With a tomahawk. Yeah. But mostly because like we already argue enough between the two of us on every single little detail of this podcast. So we don't want to get other people involved. It'd be like a fucking massacre.
Yeah, but if you want to suggest topics or ask a question,
absolutely.
We're gonna have an Instagram page. It's gonna be Alchemy on the Island. You can look us up on Instagram.
Yes, and maybe Facebook as well, and maybe good old emails, and give us a call. Yeah, like because most of you
we'll put your personal number. Put your personal number on here.
I mean, like everyone knows me here. Like the 3-4 people, like my mom, my dad, like and, like your dad and your brother are listening to this. Like it's like, whatever. Yeah. Anything else? I'm sure we're forgetting something. No, the notes don't say anything else.
I think we've covered the important pieces of the intro.
Yeah, I think so. This is a good intro.
Thank you for listening.
Yes.
We appreciate your ears, and we hope you find some sort of nugget of wisdom, entertainment, humor in all of the episodes that we're going to share with you.
If you manage to survive these first 20 minutes, you're good to go to
this is the filter. If you could tolerate us talking
if
about...
you're here now, you're in for like 20 seasons.
20 seasons, yeah.
All right.
And a movie. 20 seasons in a movie.
That will be fantastic. We are planning on having episodes released more or less every 2 or 3 weeks when we are here, which is not all over the year. Like it's like
we're about 8-9
months a year, right? Like, and but they might be released a little bit in more of a scattered fashion at the beginning because we recorded some, and then it's gonna be a bit messy. Don't be too precise on this, and also the length of the episodes, right? Like on average we're imagining 1 hour, but like sometimes they might be shorter because we might treat like a very specific small subject, like your left big toenail and its role in meditation, which might be huge, who knows. And sometimes they might be long just because we might be having a lot of fun talking with someone, and time flies by and we don't want to cut it off because it sounds interesting. So basically I didn't tell anything here. Like we don't know when it's going to come out, and we don't know how long it lasts. Like, so whatever. It's a bit useless.
Thank you, Gimo. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. And I'm gonna go back to my room and digest my burger.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.